We're here to listen and deliver. Yeah. So we represent the people. We are simply representation of the people. And if I'm not representing the majority of the people that, in my constituency, then I'm not doing my job. I think their main objective is to make sure that everybody's living in a box in the city. They'll own nothing and they'll be happy for it.
Wow.
Keep fighting together. We've seen some farms where there's the BNI West line that's proposed to go through, and they're blocking access to people now. Look, they're facing fines, but we're only months away from a state election. So if the Victorian people wake up and they do change the way they vote, which we're seeing a lot is changing at the moment, hopefully then, those fines will be abolished in due course and we'll be able to save these funds.
Yeah.
There was an absolute shining light standing amongst the recently announced One Nation candidates, mate.
Yep, the one, the only, the Honourable Rikkie-Lee Tyrrell!
3, 2, 1.
Before we get into this episode, can you please help us with something personal? We have 2 enormous BESS being built close to our houses. We will see and hear them from our place. They will forever change the landscape and the peaceful nature of our rural settings. They're being placed in the line of our 2 most recent bushfires, one of which burned the paddock next door to the proposed location of these BESS. But it's what follows them that has us most concerned. While we're not in a renewable energy zone, the BESS will greenlight other projects, primarily data centres and solar farms. So please help us to stop these BESS and have these industrial projects placed in industrial zones, not on agricultural land. Please sign the petition to support our community. You can scan the QR code or follow the link in the description. Cheers.
Thank you.
So over the course of this year, we've reached out to a number of politicians for a chat, ostensibly over matters that affect Victoria, with a focus on regional issues, migration, cost of living, and why the mighty Richmond Football Club has chained itself once again to the bottom of the AFL ladder. Shout out to Bernie Finn, waiting for an announcement from you, Bernie. Those that we contacted, including, how's this for a list, mate? Those included Jacinta Allen, Lily DeLulu, Sonia Kilkenny, Jess Wilson, Danny O'Brien, Emma Keeley, Annabelle Cleland, Anthony Carbines, Enver Ardigan, Jacqueline Symes, and recently new Liberal candidate Emma Muir. No reply from a single one of them.
No.
Nothing.
Enver Edo. That's just a made-up name.
No, it's not. Labour minister.
No, I don't think so. No, it's a bot.
We did a show on Enver not long ago.
Really?
Yeah, he's the new tobacco king, mate.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, Enver.
Ah, right, okay. So he is real.
Yeah, he is.
Pardon my French.
But the one member of Parliament that did get back to us is Rikkie-Lee Tyrrell. And that's why she's our favourite Victorian politician, right?
Anybody that will put up with you and talk to you, we love them.
Exactly right. Because she's willing to talk to the minnows as much as she's prepared to talk to the boffins. So we trekked up to Shepparton, where our office is, to have a chat, unscripted, no questions sent beforehand, no limits, no taboos, no restrictions. Instead, over an hour of frank discussion and clear direction. It was so refreshing. In case you missed it, here's a little grab of our chat. So you're a regional Victorian, obviously, a dairy farmer. I think I read on your wiki page.
I was involved in the dairy industry for 20 years. I've recently separated from my husband, but that doesn't mean that I am divorcing the agricultural industries.
Right.
Yeah, I know that they have a future if we are supportive of it, and we need dairy. We need agriculture, not just dairy, sorry. We need all of our prime agricultural industries to thrive. We need to get them back on their feet and producing what Australia is famous for producing, and that is the best quality food and fibres in the world.
Exactly right.
Yep. The only way to be able to take it back and bring it back to where Victorians seem to be happy with that kind of process is a change of government. And we need a change of government with the support of the crossbench. So you can't think just getting the coalition in will do the job. You need to make sure that you have the right support on the crossbench. And at the moment, unfortunately, we've only got a couple of people sitting on the crossbench that hold that balance of power normally. and that is usually legalised cannabis, and that's just 2 people. But they are led by a loud and proud communist. They are advised a lot by Fiona Patten from the Reason Party, who was one of the people who were responsible for enabling Victoria to be locked up over the COVID pandemic. So, yeah, if you know the way that she votes on a lot of things, you can understand why we're seeing this mass push of approvals now for the renewable energies.
Okay. Animal Justice Party were involved in some of these as well, correct? So Georgie Purcell.
Animal Justice Party, the Greens, and legalised cannabis. So we're talking about the upper house.
Yeah.
And all legislation that comes from the Legislative Assembly, or what's known as the lower house, needs to come through the council where I sit, and where Animal Justice Party, legalised cannabis, and the Greens are holding that balance of power sit. Yeah.
There's no checks and balances, no due diligence.
No, they've got their eyes on the prize, which is getting their agenda of the renewables up and running, even if it comes at the cost of 70% of Victoria's prime agricultural lands and the community surrounding them.
It's frightening.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to feed ourselves.
No, exactly. And it really gets my goat when people are saying, "Oh, you can graze under these." The solar panels, or you can farm around wind turbines. No, what we're seeing at the moment, especially with the wind turbines, a lot of the communities, it's having adverse health effects on the people that live there, and also the stock. We've seen some data come out where goats have been dying of sleep deprivation, and they're literally falling apart. Like, there's massive chunks of wind turbines that are flying off and landing in the paddocks. So to say that, you can safely produce around those, it's getting ruled out pretty fast. And solar panels, you can't grow anything under those. If you see any vegetation, it's just weeds. Yeah. And who can sow anything under those to begin with? There's no machinery out there or equipment to be able to do that, and then nothing is going to grow under them. Yeah. And my biggest concern is what's coming out of these solar panels, what's being leached out of them over time, and if there's damage as well, what are the heavy metals and toxins that are coming out, going into the soil, into the waterways, and also being transferred from the soil into the plants themselves. Yeah. So, and there's not enough research, there's no data out there to show what's actually happening. So that's a big concern of mine, because some of these things, you're not going to be able to recover from that down the long run. I'm thinking decades away, people are eating, say, meat products from, say, sheep that are supposed to be grazing under these. Yeah. What are the sheep absorbing from them as well? Because sheep, they'll lick the dirt, to get minerals out of the dirt. What else are they licking up under solar panels? Yeah. And I do have a neighbour who has had sheep grazing or been adjusted in solar areas, and he said he's never had wethers that have had sunburn before. It's not sunburn, it's radiation burn. So they're getting radiation burn on their nose and their ears, and some of them, they'll go and perch up next to one of the solar panels for some shade, and the moving compartments in them catches their fleece. Right. And if nobody's sitting there 24/7, which no farmer is, he'll come out and check them the next day, and there's a sheep wrapped around it. It's exploded because that's happened, It's not safe. And then another big concern of mine is the fire hazard. If these things go up, they'll burn for a long time, and what are they releasing into not just the soil, but also the air and the surrounding communities? So. Yep. And I mean, if you look at what's happening with our current CFA at the moment, they've had so many budget cuts. We can't even afford a fleet of trucks that are up to scratch, let alone being able to ensure that they have the right equipment to maintain a fire that's burning on these things. And I'll say maintain, because you can't really put them out, because they'll just burn and burn and burn. So there's a lot still that needs to be looked into, I think, before the government just ploughs ahead and
starts
paints the countryside with these facilities.
There doesn't seem to be any avenue for landholders or farmers to appeal. And now, of course, with the EES being pushed aside, VCAT's been taken away.
VCAT's been taken away.
So what do?
They rally together and they protest. They grow in support, like the communities. I've said from day dot, as soon as I got elected in, the first community that reached out to me was at Bobbinawara. And I said, make sure you stick together, and any other community in the region that you see, make sure that you form ties with them and communities, because it's volume, the volume of the voice. I said, that's where you'll find your power. The more people that push against this, that rally together, the more likely you are to be heard. And we're seeing that, which is great. When I went out to Horsham recently, there was a lot of community groups there that had representation, which was fantastic. And they've got to do it together. Victoria has to unite. Regional Victoria needs to unite to save their home against this government. And all they can do at the moment is keep fighting together. We're seeing some farms where there's the BNI West line that's proposed to go through, and they're blocking access to people now. Look, they're facing fines, but we're only months away from a state election. So if the Victorian people wake up and they do change the way they vote, which we're seeing a lot is changing at the moment, hopefully then, those fines will be abolished in due course, and we'll be able to save these farms.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it's going to take.
They are working hard. A lot of the farmers out that way, Ben with Farmer Fight Back, those sorts of campaigns are uniting the people. And there's been some recent changes to compulsory land acquisition recently, in that we no longer need to wait for the environmental effect study. We could just push ahead and acquire the land regardless of what effects that might have on the landowner or the crops or whatever. I saw you stand up in Parliament and speak against that, but obviously the numbers went the other way. Yep.
And it's terrifying to know that this is the direction Victoria is heading right now. My big concern is this is just a starting point. If the Labor government continues to hold power in Victoria, when will it stop? Will it stop? It's just starting here in regional Victoria, and we know that everything, or the majority of things that do happen in Victoria, start out here in the regional areas, and it's like a ripple effect, and it will work its way towards the city.
Yeah. There were a couple of things in your speeches that caught me off guard. The term may take your land, that really frightened me. I mean, that's open to any interpretation. They can come and do pretty much what they like. And we're not talking little amounts of land either. It's acres and acres.
It's big easements of land. Yeah. And it's not even if they do need it now, it's if they may need it in the future. So that is scary. If they think, we might need it down the track, we'll take it now. Yep, they can do that. I think the Victorian Labor government does not know the value of a hard-earned dollar, because they never have had to do that themselves. It's just everybody else's money at their fingertips. And that's the really scary part. If people are still thinking, I'll vote for Labor because Labor's for the working class, I'm sorry to tell you, but that went out the door years ago. Yeah,
they've gone mad with the platinum card. There's no doubt about that. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, we're looking at socialism. And a lot of people would say, no, I'd take it even further. I reckon it's communism.
Socialism leads to communism.
Exactly.
Does the government understand, or have they talked about putting any program in place to deal with the anxiety, the stress? They are causing a lot of pain out in the communities, and it doesn't feel like it's all about take, and to hell, so to speak, with the farmers?
Yep. No. Gosh, no. Look, I think their main objective is to make sure that everybody's living in a box in the city. They'll own nothing and they'll be happy for it.
Wow.
And
so WEF 101,
it feels like that's the way that we're going, because if you sit back and you look over the past couple of decades, which I've done, I've seen how we've progressed to where we are, it makes a lot of sense. And it feels like they are doing everything in their abilities to run people off the land because they want to have complete and utter control of it.
Even the towers being put up through the rail link feel 15-minute city, no car parks. It feels crazy.
It definitely feels like we're going in that direction.
So I was in Horsham at the same conference as you, I think a few weeks ago, and I asked both Liberal and National then what their policy on SEC would be. National said they would continue with it, which really...
I know. I was reading the crowd and I'm like, oh.
Well, he was the only person that got a boo really in the whole weekend. And And Bev, as lovely as she is, was just completely non-committal.
Exactly. Well, look, they're a coalition. They've got to work together. It must have been hard for Bev.
Yeah.
I think. I have a lot of respect for Bev, and a lot of people there do as well.
Yeah.
So that's why she didn't get heckled and booed like Mr. O'Brien did.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I couldn't believe that he said that. I'm like, no, you need to stand up and say, no, we will not continue with this. We will support our regional communities.
Correct.
We will do everything we can to represent them to the best of our abilities, because that's what our job is.
Yeah.
We aren't here to tell you what you need and what you're going to have. We're here to listen and deliver.
Yeah.
So we represent the people. We are simply representation of the people. And if I'm not representing the majority of the people that, in my constituency, then I'm not doing my job.
Correct.
I'm not doing it right.
Yeah. Is there any way that there could be changes made to the development facilitation program down the track by One Nation if they get in? Can that it can be wound back?
Yes.
To at least not include renewables?
Exactly. Yeah, look, if anybody's been following One Nation for a time now, they will know that we are firm against the renewable push. There's nothing renewable about them. They have a really short lifespan. They've got an enormous footprint, especially on prime agricultural industries. And the amount of waste that they produce just to dispose of them at the end of their life is, I can't swear, but it's
well, you can't.
It's a bit of an environmental catastrophe. Yeah.
It's a long way from recycle. That's
exactly. Yeah. A lot of people go on about recycling of them. I've had people who are pushing wind turbines saying, oh, we can recycle so much. And I'm like, what can you recycle? And he was going on about the pallets that they come in, like the wooden pallets. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm not talking about the pallets that, you're putting these bits and pieces on. It's the actual turbines themselves. And the amount of concrete that they need, the footing as well, they're only supposed to take a certain amount of that off when they get rid of them. Yeah. And the rest stays in the ground.
Yeah.
So tell me how that's recycling.
No, it's not helpful.
Yeah.
Last question.
Oh, I was really enjoying this.
We can keep going if you like. I don't want to. I've only got to 1 o'clock or it's gone past. One Nation, the work from home policy that is supposed to come in June and then take effect from September. For small business in particular, that is scary. I know in the businesses I've worked in, some were small, some weren't. But a work from home policy would have ruined some of those businesses.
Yep.
What's your take on that? I mean,
I oppose it, strongly oppose it. Look, this is just another example of the government sticking its nose in where it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
And like I said before, they don't understand the value of a hard-earned dollar because they've never had to do it before in their life, and they wouldn't know how to run a business. They don't know what's involved. They don't know the amount of sacrifice and hard work business owners put into employing staff, keeping them going, training them, whatnot. And just to say, oh, it's now legislated that your staff get to work from home 2 days a week. It's just so unnecessary. I'm a really flexible boss here in the office, and I've let staff work from home.
Yeah. They're
far less productive when they're working from home. Some of them are great, others aren't. So it depends on the individual too. I've noticed that it's also a generational thing. So I've got people from my generation that I know if I let them work from home, the work's going to get done. But if I've got people, say, from sometimes a younger generation, they need to be pushed a lot more and they need to be supervised to get stuff done. And I'm not saying that's all of them. I'm just, in my experience in this office, that's what I've had. So to think that now that's going to be legislated onto all business owners.
But shouldn't it be your say as the business owner?
It's your business. And like I said, it's another example of the government sticking their nose in where it doesn't belong. And they do that not just with businesses, but they also do that to the family unit. They're sticking their nose in and saying, oh, this is how you must raise your children this way, or this is how they have to be educated if you send them to public school. Don't get me started on the curriculum, like the way that they're raising children and forcing certain political genders down their throat. It's disgusting. My kids are both in public school, but I make sure that we have a good discussion every day when they come home about what they've been taught, and then we have a critical debate about certain agendas that they're not comfortable with as well, which is great. So I keep my finger on the pulse. Yeah, and they're really good. Even though I am One Nation, we're considered a right-leaning party, I've made sure that my kids are just raised to be critical thinkers and they question everything. And God forbid, if they grow up and they want to be Green supporters, we will have healthy debates about that.
Yep.
But I don't think they're going that way. But I've made sure that they know what each party stands for and why.
Yep.
But they don't have any hostility towards them as well. They're just like, okay, they want to achieve this. We don't understand why, but they have that right to do that in Australia. That's democracy.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Australia. Yeah.
What's your message to Victorians? I'll let you finish with.
My message to Victorians, please, for the love of God, do your research before you go to vote. I did that before I joined politics, and it wasn't before I voted. It was before I joined a political party. I knew I had to do something for my community. It took me a half an hour internet search, I think. So I researched every party that was registered in Victoria, their policies, what they stand for, and then you can even see what their voting history is like, what their track record is like, so you know who you're going to be voting for. Yeah, don't go by all the big fancy signs or the pretty looking candidates or whatnot. Make sure you know what you are voting for.
What they stand for.
Exactly.
So important.
Yeah.
Who they're going to support.
Yeah, I mean, a name of a party might seem good, but what they actually stand for could be the complete opposite. A lot of people voted for legalised cannabis, thinking that they were voting for, a party that stood for just legalising cannabis, but no, that party is very left. Yeah. And so
we did a story they were part of a story we did a few weeks ago about their values, and their values don't match.
They don't align.
No.
So that's what I mean. You've really got to do your research. Yeah, and that's all. And look, if you're confused about who to vote for, pick up the phone, ring your candidates, because they'll all have a phone number there on their Facebook page or whatever, their candidate line, and talk to them. Run them through the questions that you want answered.
So whether you agree or not with Rikkie-Lee, she's the only one who's been willing to look us in the eye, answer any question we had, and give us a frank and substance-laden answer instead of political jargon, mate. Just told us how she felt.
Well, she just told you because I had to actually work that day. So there you go.
That's a good point. But you would have been there if you could have.
I would have been.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot to agree with from that chat, and if anybody's wondering why they are drawing voters in, this conversation should show you why. One Nation are talking about the issues that mean the most to Victorians.
I mean,
it didn't matter with immigration, education.
You might call it the popular vote or whatever, the popular discussion, but that's what they've gone with. But that's what they've always kind of gone with, right? So it's just, have we caught up on them?
Yeah, maybe that's exactly right. But there's a dairy farmer talking about what means most to her constituents. And that's what she's there representing.
Happy days.
Exactly right.
Happy days. She's from the region, so she understands people.
Yep, exactly right. You'd never catch her saying, I love potholes.
They actually like it full of potholes. Yes, actually it is.
What an idiot.
Now, we're up for a chat with any politician, and hopefully in the run into the election, we'll get to speak to more candidates and ministers. We have a feeling that it will be biased toward One Nation because they're the only party willing to enter into any sort of dialogue with us, mate.
True.
Yep, because they are the People's Party.
Yep. I mean, we did speak to Jared Rennick.
Yeah, we did.
But
he's not running.
Like you said, they're not ready just yet.
Yeah, they're not running in Victoria.
That'll be interesting once they do get up.
He's been fully accessible as well. Another people person. No doubt about it. But if you're Labor or the Coalition, we're way too low down the
pecking order.
Yeah, exactly right. So Jess Wilson and Danny O'Brien, if you're listening, please get back to us. We'd love to have a chat, to ask the questions that our community want answered, to have you look at the camera and tell Victorians what you're prepared to do if you win power. But we don't think you'll get back to us. Not because you don't want to speak, but because you've lost sight of the most important thing, the people. Yep. Please prove us wrong. Have a member of parliament or a candidate contact us and agree to tell our audience what it is that you stand for. Because right now, our audience is pretty much all voting one way, mate.
Yep.
It
looks like,
all you see in our comments is One Nation, One Nation, One Nation.
Well, literally, we have no one else to vote for.
It feels that way.
Yep.
Nobody else will talk to us.
Yeah.
And when One Nation do talk to us and they give us a feeling of belonging, I can vote for that because I believe in that.
Yep.
what do you think you're going to do?
I know, you're going to go one nation.
Yep, exactly right. So there you go, mate. I mean, at the end of the day, we will vote for who we believe in the most.
Yep.
I don't think, I mean, what are we now, August? I don't think our votes are 100% decided. Our preferences are going to be harder than our first votes, though, I get the feeling.
Yeah.
It's going to be really hard to pick a
definitely.
a second or third. I know it's last for me. The Greens are last.
Yep. Well, Greens, Labour, so there's no choice, really.
Yeah, they're last.
Um,
And the other thing we would ask is that when you get to above or below the line, fill everything out below the line, please.
yeah. It
Don't
makes,
let anybody
a
else
huge
choose.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, good on Rikkie-Lee for having another run.
Yeah.
She's standing for One Nation again. I am sure she'll get in. I really hope Georgie Purcell doesn't get in this time round. It'd be great to see no Cannabis Party, no Animal Justice Party, and get those seats filled by other candidates.
I mean, if they were just for cannabis and all the rest of it, I'd be like, yeah.
You'd be happy.
I voted them heaps of times. And then now that I know they're on the arse end of Labour,
they're a communist shill, mate.
Cannot touch them.
No, exactly right.
Them or the Animal Justice.
No, Animal Justice Party stands for everything except the animals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
Having said that, they have done a little bit of work with the Brumbies and with our friend Carmel up in New South Wales.
I'm, it's like I'm pulled both ways now.
Yeah, no, don't be, because everything else they stand for is absolute rubbish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let us know what you think, everybody. Rikkie-Lee Tyrrell, superstar.
Yep.
We love her. We love the fact that she's willing to talk to not just us, but everybody and anybody.
She seemed very down to earth and
incredibly down to earth.
A real people person.
And she actually was engaging, and it actually felt, from my point of view, she made me feel much more comfortable. I was pretty nervous.
I could tell.
That was my first real chat with anybody known, and she made me feel really comfortable, and she talked just in a down-to-earth manner that made me feel comfortable. Yep. And there was no point where she said, oh, you can't ask that, and I can't answer that. She was just honest with everything.
Yeah. And that's what you want in a politician, right?
Exactly.
You don't want them ducking and diving and wheeling and dealing and only talking about the shit they want to talk about.
Correct. Yeah. Or giving you that political no real answer.
Yeah.
I'm just got words coming out of my mouth.
Yeah.
Mumbo jumbo that you see.
Labour, you mean?
Oh, both. And the coalition, mate.
Yeah. Both.
And we'll stick with that being the coalition until they decide to come and have a chat with us.
Yeah.
And until then, you can only go with what you know.
Or the uni party.
I'm not going there. Yeah. All right, everyone, let us know what you think. Rikkie-Lee Tyrrell, vote 1.
Yep. See you guys.
Bye.